with Iran touting that they are more than capable of supplying 1 million fighters to the front lines anywhere needed within the country, especially if the United States decides they're going to send troops in or ground troops to take any part. Now, there's been talk that Trump has pushed back this whole deadline 10 days, but we've got Marines heading to the area, some 7,000 additional U.S. troops, mainly Marines. You also have in there airborne troops, 82nd Airborne. And it doesn't matter who you talk to or listen to on this situation. Karg Island is not going to be an easy task to go in and just take over. Even if they do drop in, they're saying that the Iranians are ruthless, that once you're in there on their territory, they'll do anything, kamikaze style, to take us out, including setting booby traps all across the island that could ignite the entire thing. They're ready to do anything, they're saying. So 1 million soldiers mobilized, they're saying right now, for this force. So we've got a big mass heading in that direction. There was said to be 50 to 60,000 troops stationed amongst all these bases in the area. But when they started firing missiles everywhere, the U.S. pulled their troops out of most of those close bases to different locations. So what they're going to do in the coming week, obviously yet to be seen, but it's going to be interesting because it seems Trump's using all this talk time to reposition. And as soon as they get into position, they strike. This time, it's not just going to be striking with missiles and walking away, it seems. They're prepared for a ground invasion. So, where this goes, we're just going to have to wait and see. Energy prices and all that, surely going to fluctuate if this goes down. And join me for the live stream, going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, where I update the stories just like this and a whole lot more. Hope to see you guys there. Much love.
Shalom. I want to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praises
Kamikaze style.
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And salutations to the brothers that's teaching His truth and sincerity. And shalom to the hopeful elect, the 1/3, and the sincere listeners. Alright, Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God. And Yahweh Shai being the name of His Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. This gospel, this truth, the kingdom of heaven, and salvation is for the Israelites and the Israelites only, who are you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and the ones scattered abroad that may look like the other nations, but your spirit resonates with this truth. You're more than most likely an Israelite, going back to one of the 12 patriarchs. Alright, the kingdom of heaven, salvation is for you. Alright, this is just going to be a response to this video. And, really I'm going into the mindset of the Iranians and how they're ready for war. Just a follow-up even from my last video that I did, man. Their mindset is that they are ready to die. Okay, they're ready to die to defend their sovereignty, to defend their people, their family. Okay, they're not trying to back down. Okay, and really, us brothers in this truth, right? We got to be ready to die. We got to have that same mentality. Okay, yeah, we know the Lord did not create man to die. Okay, but this walk of ours, this thing of ours, we're going to have to meditate upon death and things like that. But through death, there's life. And in our death, we understand that there is reincarnation and really the resurrection. Those that died in Yahweh Shai shall raise up first, right? But in contrast as well, these Americans, these Western armies, they don't want to go to war. They're not ready to die. Okay, this is not Iraq. This is not Afghanistan. You know, when the Twin Towers dropped, right? And, you know, men were, oh yeah, I'm gonna go get those turban heads. You right? Those ragheads, we gotta go over to the Middle East. Those ragheads, they did, right? The witchcraft, like everybody's waking up to the witchcraft of the beast of America. Nobody's falling for it no more. Nobody wants to fight. The only reason why people join the military for money, schooling, and to travel the world. That's the reason most they're not doing it to them. They don't plan, bust a few guns, whatever, but they don't actually plan to go to war. That's not in their mindset. What is the American army fighting for? High gas prices? To keep gas prices high? Is that what you guys are fighting for? For inflation? Are you fighting for tariffs, to maintain tariffs? Is that what you're fighting for? Because the people in America as a whole, their mindset is all divided. Everybody is divided. Everybody can believe and believe what they want, do as they will. But are you really ready to die for do as you will? You're not ready to die for that, bro. You're not. You see, if a man say he's ready to do kamikaze style warfare, he, in his mind, you know, he's already promised 7 wives in his mind, right? That's what the Muslims believe, right? In Islam. So he's ready. He don't care. In his mind, he's going to heaven, man. In his mind. And that's what they've been conditioned and brainwashed to believe. You know what I mean? But they're ready for it because why? They've been getting the short end of the stick. They've been being fueled to hate the horde, to hate the beast, which is America, Babylon, the West, the Western way, the policies. They've seen how they've been got the short end of the stick, man. Okay? They're witnessing how their people are being treated in their land and how all these sanctions are deterring them from thriving, and you know, they're seeing all these things, man. They're a witness and they're ready. They're able to mobilize 1 million soldiers. Do you know? I don't think people understand how much that is. That's a lot of men. Just for one region. Okay? 1 million soldiers to be at ready. That's not a joke. And then on top of that, they're tapped in the head. They're ready to die. You American soldiers are not ready to die. Are you ready to die for oil? You're not ready to die for oil, man. Let's be real. You gotta be real with yourself, bro. You gotta be real with yourself. You're not ready to die for no oil, my nigga. Because that's the only reason why you're going there. You're not willing to die for no trade route, no shipping route, no boats, no shipping boats, no shipping ports. You're not ready and willing to die for this. You're not. These Iranians are. On top of that, they've been training. They've been training for this, my guy. You've been training, but you've just been training. They've been training, and part of their training is knowing they're gonna have to die or might have to die. You are not training like that because in your mind, you know, American, you're at the top of the world. Nobody can test us. The best army, best military, which is true. But are you ready for ground invasion or ground warfare? You're not ready for that, boss. You're not ready for that. You're not. You have women in your army. Okay? I'm not saying the Iranians don't have women either, but I'm sure most of them are men. Most of the people in their army is men. Okay? They're not fucking about. They're not playing those games, man. Alright? They're able to mobilize 1 million men that don't bleed. That in a sense of don't bleed on every month. Okay? that are emotional with the guns. They're gonna be standing firm. Okay? They're not playing, man. These guys are not playing. Their mindset that they have, okay? And this is not just Iran. This is all countries. This is a lot of countries where they've been wronged by the Horde. Okay, Russia, China, and other smaller countries too, North Korea, wherever. Let the weak say I am strong. Vietnam. This, you know what I'm saying? You guys thought Vietnam would be a walk in the park, man. You guys are gonna get your ass handed to you. You guys didn't win Vietnam, my nigga. You didn't win that. You didn't win Afghanistan. You didn't win it. You won Iraq, but you didn't win Afghanistan. Okay? You didn't, but look how long it took you to even win Iraq. That was some shit for you guys. And then Afghanistan, while you guys went into Iraq, Afghanistan was still a thing. So imagine that. You guys left Iraq before you left Afghanistan. Because of all the hell and pressure those guys are really willing to put on you. Those guys are ready to die for what they believe, man. What do you guys believe? What do you Americans believe? What do you believe in? What are you dying for? What are you ready to die for? You guys are not ready to die because you want to live. Because America is a place where it's called the American dream. You want to live. You want to do things. You want to spend money. Right? You want to buy a home. You want to have kids. You want to, you know? And these people here, they want to do this too. They want to do the same thing, but you actually denied them their right of doing it. I'm not saying they weren't able to have kids and have a family, buy homes and stuff like that. But their reality was different than yours because they seen the sanctions on their people and how their government had to do other things in order to make them prosper, so to speak, or be able to maintain. Whereas when they actually know where they come from, they know their history, they know where they go back to, they know, right? How do I say it? They know their excellence, they know their opulence of where they come from. That's part of their history. That's instilled in them. What? This is a I'll say multi-thousand-year-old regime. Let's put it that way. Empire, per the Persians. Okay? Thousands of years ago. They know who they are. That's who they go back to. They have their history intact. Okay? They know what they're fighting for. Legacy, honor. Right? What are you Americans dying for? What are you dying for? What are you ready to die for? That's what I'm asking. This video is going longer than it needs to, but I just wanted to know, what are you ready to die for? I don't know if you guys are ready to die. And this evil madman, Trump, he's going to send you guys there to die regardless. Because you niggas are not ready to die. I don't hear nothing about you American troops hopping on Instagram, whatever, going on social media saying, yeah, we'll give it to them, blah, 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 we'll give it to them, da, da, da. These guys want to stop the Strait of Hormuz, blah, blah. We're going to go in there and show them who's boss, right? I don't hear none of that pompous talk, bro. I don't hear that from you American soldiers, man. You guys don't want to go to war. And I understand that, but you guys signed up for this shit. You signed it, right? You signed up to die. Because he ain't coming back, bro. All right? So let's get some scriptures, man. I'm going on a rant, but it's just the truth, man. I'm in, you know what I'm saying? This is gonna be you. Laws of warfare, right? Regulations concerning war. Yeah, Deuteronomy 20:5. It says, and the officer shall speak unto the people, saying, what man is there that hath built a new house, and hath not dedicated it? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man dedicate it. Okay? So you didn't even get to enjoy your home. But that's a lot of you people right now. You might have just bought a home. Now you're getting shipped off. You know, with your money that you made in the military, you just bought a home, and now you're getting shipped off. Right? You're leaving your wife and kids. Your wife is gonna get popped, right? By a black man, the evil black man. Your wife is gonna get popped by an evil black man, right? Okay. And while you're gonna die for nothing, while your wife's getting popped by an evil black man, right? And you gotta say shit like that to rub it in Esau's face, man. Okay, rub it in the so-called white man's face, because that's exactly what's gonna happen. She's gonna go for a so-called black man, right? Your white snow bunny, and she's gonna get pounded, and you're gonna die in war. Okay, and it's gonna be for nothing, right? Because you bought into the American dream, and the American dream is an illusion. You get a wife, she's a whore, she's a harlot, she's cheating on you, she's getting popped by different men, she's smiling in your face, kissing you in the mouth, right? But you bought into that illusion of happy wife, happy life, kids, you know, picket fence. That's what you guys are about to die for, but that shit is an illusion, and you're realizing it now. All that shit's crashing, all that shit's coming to an end now. And another man dedicated. Yeah, another man come dedicate your wife. You know what I'm saying? Okay, he's all up in there now because you're dead. And he's moving in. A black man, evil black man, right? And what man is he that hath planted a vineyard and hath not yet eaten of it? Let him also go and return unto the house, lest he die in the battle, and another man eat of it. Yeah, man, here it is. You just filled up, you know, I'm just relating it to modern day times, man. Here it is. You just filled up your fridge, stocked up your fridge. You got 2 freezers in your home. You got a fridge and a freezer in the garage, and one in the kitchen. And you just stocked it all up with food and all that snacks, cereal, milk, eggs, beef, steak, whatever, chicken, swine, pork, whatever. And I'm not saying I'm advocating for us to eat pork, but you know these people are bugged out in their mind. They like that shit, right? So you gotta speak to the choir, so to speak, right? Don't eat pork is wicked, but in their mind they think it's gold, right? So you got all that shit up in there, all type of abominations, all type of food up in there, filled to the brim, cereal, the pantry's packed, right? And now you got the call, you gotta go get shipped off. And guess another man's gonna eat all your food? Yeah, the evil black man, right? The so-called evil black man, right? He's gonna eat all your food and he's gonna be laughing with your wife, sitting down with the wine, right? That's what's gonna happen to you, cracker. And you niggas out there too. Don't get it twisted. You niggas that signed up for that shit too. It's gonna happen to you too, but you know, I just gotta rub it in Esau's face, because this is Esau's army. Okay, you are of your father the devil. You take part in Esau's army, right? The Lord see fit that you are of your father the devil. For you Israelites, you so-called black people in Esau's army, in the American military, whatever, in the Western military, NATO forces, you are of your father the devil, anyways. And the lust of them you would do. So that's why you get caught up with the devil, because you trusted in this world, you trusted in this way, you trusted in this man. You know. It says, and what man is there that hath betrothed a wife and not taken her? Let him go and return unto his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man take her. Whoo! Ain't that what I've been talking about, bro? Your house getting dedicated by a next man, your food getting dedicated by being eaten by a next man, your wife getting popped by a next man. Okay? It's prophecy. This is prophecy, man. This is gonna happen to a lot of you niggas, man. And guess what? It's gonna be righteous, because you're gonna die in the war. And guess what? She's actually gonna be eligible for marriage again, because her husband's dead. Her husband's dead, and now she's there, and she's ready to get popped again. So, and it's gonna be righteous. It's gonna be lawful, because you're gonna be dead in the war, right? And what are you going to do about it? There's not much you can do about it. You're just going to die, right? And this is the point right here. And the officer shall speak, Deuteronomy 20:8. And the officer shall speak further unto the people. They shall say, what man is there that is fearful and faint-hearted, Let him go and return unto his house, lest his brethren's heart faint, as well as his heart, right? And a lot of you American soldiers are gonna have a faint heart, and you're not gonna be able to go back home because you already signed that deal with the devil, and you gotta die for your country. You gotta die for your country. That's the only way. You gotta be part of that beautiful sacrifice that the Lord ordained. The Lord ordained this sacrifice, man. Okay, and you're a part of it now. There's no turning back. You're a part of the beautiful sacrifice of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Deuteronomy 20 and 8. Then the officers will, I'm going to read it in the NLT. Then the officers will also say, is anyone here afraid or worried? If you are, you may go home before you frighten anyone else. Okay? And you don't want to be around anybody that's scary, man. Okay? You want to be around men that are ready to die, but ready to fight, and be around strong-minded men that are ready to fight. Not even say ready to die, but ready to fight to the death, if it comes down to it, but ready to win as well, be victorious. You want to be around men that are ready to be victorious. Okay? Jeremiah 51:29, and the land shall tremble and sorrow, for every purpose of the Lord Yahweh shall be performed against Babylon, America, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without inhabitant. Okay, and that's going to be through the nuclear missiles. The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight, right? They don't want to fight. They have remained in their holds. Their might have failed. They became as women, right? You have men literally changing genders, and currently going through sex changes just to avoid being drafted, going into the military, being conscripted and drafted and whatnot. Because during that process of, transitioning, whatever, wickedness, that witchcraft, during that whole process, they're not healed to go, right? So literally, you're gonna have that happen as well, because men are just gonna be like, fuck it. Men do that in order to avoid going to male prison. So how much more when they know they're about to get sent off to die in a world war for real? Okay? Because the men do that before they go to the male prison, they transition or they identify as a woman and they're a man. They can go to the woman's prison, because this is Babylon the Great. Confusion is at an all-time high here, right? In this wicked ass place. Okay? But Esau, the so-called white man, set it up that way, right? So they have burned her dwelling places, her bars are broken. Okay. I guess we can get that too, but let me see. Get something real quick in this. I think it's in 16. Yeah. This is 2nd Ezra 16:33. It says, the virgin shall mourn, having no bridegrooms, the woman shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. Why? In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Alright, so when this happens, all these women are going to be free game in America, in the West, Canada, UK, wherever, until the missiles hit. But all these women are going to be free game and then ready to get popped or be with some of the elect or die. Die brutal deaths. It's either or, and a lot of you women not gonna make it, man. And that's what's coming right now, man. That's what's coming down the pipeline. This is second Ezra 15. Start at 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men. Man, this is prophecy, okay? We're reading. We're in a time of prophecy. We can get into other things and go into different things, but we're in a time of prophecy. And we see prophecy jumping out the book, out the Bible, man, the page that's popping out. We're gonna have to bring these scriptures out over and over and over again, man, because we're in a time of prophecy. Okay, simple and plain. You know, prophecy should be on your mind, the forefront, man. Prophecy, measuring the times. This is the times, man. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. And the course, yeah, they're not going to regard their kings or princes, man. You Edomites, right? You Edomites in the armies. You think these foreign armies are going to regard you as if, well, yeah, the prince, nah, man. You don't give a fuck, but then you ain't going to regard your generals, your politicians, your mayors, your governors, whoever, your presidents, prime ministers. They ain't going to regard any of those people, man. Your senators, your governors, right? Not going to give a fuck about none of that. The politicians of whatever. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Okay? And that's exactly what's coming, man. You know? This is the mindset when real men are going to war, man. And I'm going to end it off here. Okay. First Maccabees 3. Let's just go right to it. I'll just read this. First Maccabees 3:58 says, and Judah said, arm yourselves and be valiant men, and see that ye be in readiness against the morning, that ye may fight with these nations. All right, we're supposed to apply this to us spiritually. Ephesians 6. Okay, arm ourselves, right? The men of the Lord, the ones that are teaching this. But we're in a war. We're in a spiritual war, and we got to arm ourselves spiritually, right? That we can withstand the wiles of the devil. But this passage here, all right, best believe these other nations, they read the art of war. They know about the Israelites, how we conducted war. And this is very important to know how to your conduct in war. Okay? And this is a mindset of a lot of nations, man, that they have. Not the American army, though. Because what are they dying for? They're not dying for the Lord. They're dying for vanity, man. They're dying for Amalek. Fuck. 58. First Maccabees 3:58. And Judah said, arm yourselves and be valiant men, and see that ye be in readiness against the morning, that ye may fight with these nations that are assembled together against us to destroy us and our sanctuary. So you best believe that's the mindset of this Iranian army. Okay? You better believe that's the mindset of that they're ready. They're ready, man. For it is better for us to die in battle than to behold the calamities of our people and our sanctuary. Nevertheless, as the will of Yahweh is in heaven, so let him do. And that's the mindset, we gotta have. There's brothers here, you know what I'm saying? And that believe, it's just a few sisters or whatever that believe. But you ain't gotta worry about no war. You just gotta have faith in your man. But the men that we're the ones really dealing with this war, man. Okay? Spiritually. It's a spiritual war that we're in. It's gonna get heightened up. It's gonna be even more spiritual, but it's also gonna get carnal as well. It is gonna get carnal, but it's all gonna be in the spirit. All right, this spiritual war is gonna get carnal. Best believe. All right, but this is the will of the Heavenly Father, and like I said, this is the mindset of these Iranians right now. For it is better to die in battle than behold the calamities of our people and our sanctuary. Okay. And if these other nations have this mindset, Jake doesn't have this mind. Jake in the world, two-third Jakes and Jake with a two-third mindset, they don't have this mindset. Okay, but the elect is grasping and grabbing onto this mindset. Okay? Let me read it again. And Judah said, arm yourselves and be valiant. I want to get that word valiant quick. Valiant definition. Possessing or showing courage or determination. That's right. Okay? So, we got to have that. Salakia. But, yeah. And see that ye be in readiness against the morning, that ye may fight with these nations that are assembled together against us to destroy us in our sanctuary. Well, you get the point, man. So I'm going to end it off there. I'm going to say shalom. Lord will, you're edified. And to the next one.